Okay. Hi, thanks for having me. It's a great day so far. Wonderful morning and promising afternoon. So I'm going to talk to you in 4.5 minutes or so about Simba Chain. So let's see. Okay. So Simba has been around for a while, since 2017. We've worked with most of the major divisions in the DoD at this point. Our main customer is the US Air Force, specifically AFRL. And we've been working with DLA on some efforts, and also the Army. And the next talk will go into that a little bit more detail. We have, we have our software installed in relevant environments, IL5 specifically, and we've got secret cleared staff. This is kind of an end-to-end flow of Simba, and I just wanted to break it down at a high level. So really, there's 3 phases. The data coming in on the left-hand side, this can come from multiple different silos of data. So for example, with the Air Force, that comes from different vendors like Boeing and so forth. It comes into the environment. The environment secures the data. It takes a hash of the data, puts that on chain. It also uses verifiable credentials to create this decentralized permission to that data, such that basically the data is self-sovereign to the entity that put it there, and we use credentials to give permissions to other folks. And we then take that data, which is secured and verifiable, back to the source, and we apply a schema to that to get all of the data in a usable format. So for example, if it was supply chain and multiple tiers, we would connect, the tiers, maybe the sub-tier request going out, coming back. We would connect that to the parts in the component to the part and so forth. So you can ask questions of the whole graph about the status of your supply chain. So that goes right back to, that's full verifiability, right back to the blockchain, so everything in the graph is trustworthy. So here's some use cases. So the Air Force, we bring in data from multiple different vendors, bring it in the same format, and we connect that data together so they can ask different questions of the data. This one is a kind of an example. The graph that I'm talking about is shown in the right-hand side here. This graph is actually tracking shipments from one DLA facility to another. So we're ingesting things like CBLs, commercial bill of ladings, manifests, and things like that. So if you look at the graph, the orange nodes there are the commercial bill of ladings, and you can see around the edges of the graph all of the contents of that CBL. And the CBL is connected to the manifest, and the manifest has a bunch of manifest items. So the pink ones are all of the manifest items. So we partnered with Deloitte in this case. They created the UI on the front end, but the back end data, which is fully verifiable back to the chain, you can ask all sorts of questions. You can meet the application needs, where are my shipments? But you can also say, okay, which item has moved from one facility the most? And has it moved back again? Are there optimizations we can make on a global scale? So you can think of the blockchain here as a connective tissue, supply chain tissue in this, or shipment tissue that connects all of these different facilities together and gives a holistic view of the data. And then finally, I want to touch on this in-transit visibility use case. Matt will talk about this from the Army side next. In-transit visibility, basically we have locks that go on containers. You have a strap that goes in one side of the lock and it goes in the other. So you can put it on a container, you can put it around the neck of an asset if you want. We have integrated with that in this example, and we've brought all of the data directly into the blockchain, so everything is secured. Nobody can tamper with the data. This is ongoing work, but the graph in this case shows how we're tracking on the top part. This is the KUA, the guys that make the device. That's their traceability, but we also have all of that data in our back-end graph and fully connected. So we know when a lock has been put on a container, we know where the container is, we know if it's taken off a container and put it on a different container. So we have all of that provenance record fully recorded through all of the shipments. And I've got 20 seconds left, so just to acknowledge some of our partners here that we're working with, Akinaki, Vantic, I believe Jim might be here, and Golden Key Group. Thank you.